Welcome back to the channel. You've got Laura here for a glutes and upper glutes workout today at Psycho's Bodyshop in Redondo Beach, California. Before we jump into the workout, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, share the channel with a friend, and I'll catch you guys in the workout. Okay. Is my foot straight or turned out a little? Turned out, okay. So this first kickback variation is to get my body and muscles warmed up. We are doing a turned out kind of glute medius kick where I'm taking one leg, kind of rotating it out at a 45-degree angle and really focusing on squeezing my upper glutes right there. And I'm doing about 15 of these with 20 pulses at the top. This is definitely challenging to do not just the initial reps, but also the pulses. And these are great for upper glute development. So we're gonna do a few sets of these, I think maybe 4 or 5 sets, and then we'll move on to some other exercises.
Soul chaser.
How many reps am I going for? 15? Okay.
Good job.
The frog kickback exercise, where you're kind of rotating out and kicking up, is one of my new favorites for the upper glutes, which is really the main area of my glutes that I personally need to grow. Everyone is a little different. I have decent size, I could still use more, right? But especially my upper glutes is the area I'm really focusing on. I'm really focusing on creating that roundness and that shape, which is primarily gonna be your glute media. So a lot of these kickback variations are amazing for that. And don't think that just because you do one type of kickback that is sufficient. Remember that your glutes are spherical muscles, so they need to be trained in a lot of different planes of motion, a lot of different variations, a lot of different angles are gonna help you create that really round, peachy shape that most of us want. The question is coaching needed on the professional level? I think everyone is different, but for most professional bodybuilding athletes, I think you do need a coach. Human nature is that when we're tired, when we're hungry, we can't really see ourselves that well. It's easy to give into temptation, so having that external person to give you that accountability and guidance, I think is really important. For myself, I notice that when I'm really close to a show, it's very hard for me to evaluate where I'm actually at. It's hard for me to tell if I'm lean enough, if I'm too lean, if I'm full enough, if I'm too small. So I really think for most people, they're gonna benefit from a coach, but that's not to say that some athletes, for example, like Dorian Yates, can't do amazingly well without a coach. coach. finished 2 types of kickbacks. My glutes are already very pre-fatigued, and this is a technique you can use in your training, especially if, say, you're not as comfortable going super heavy on compound movements. Don't put your compound movements first in your workouts. Because my glutes are already pre-fatigued, I'm not gonna need as much weight as I would to really burn out and reach that failure point on a traditional barbell hip thrust. So these were just doing a classic hip thrust. I personally really prefer a barbell over a Smith machine. That's just me. I don't like being locked into one range of motion. So here I'm just really focused on driving with my glutes, keeping my core tight, keeping my knees at a 90-degree angle, and really locking out and squeezing at the top. And when you get to that point where you can't really lock out, you can't get the weight all the way up, that is when you end your set, not before it. Wrap up the workout, we're gonna do some abductions with the machine. I've got Chris put 2 pads on here, so I'm elevated more, just puts you at a slightly different angle. And I really do like this variation. I'm sitting upright, keeping my core tight. So if you tend to lean forward on your abduction machine, you're gonna get a little more glute max. Keeping yourself a little more upright or even leaning all the way back is gonna help get into the glute medius a little more. So at this point, this is really just kind of a burnout exercise. And I love the abduction machine. I think it's really helped my progress this year. So we're gonna do about 4 or 5 sets, increasing weight each time, going to failure, and then we'll call it here. If you're coaching yourself, or you say you're coaching yourself, but you're taking advice from several different people, can you actually say you're coaching yourself? I would kind of say yes and no. I think it depends the extent of the advice you're getting and how you're applying it. But if you're getting advice that you're implementing from one or several other people, I do think you should give them credit for, at a minimum, their help in guiding your prep. I don't think it's just ethically, I don't think it's a nice thing to be working with a coach and or working with someone and not giving them credit. Obviously, you can choose to do whatever you want, but I'm not a fan of that personally. My glutes are done. I'm definitely ready to go eat a post-workout meal. I'm feeling fatigued. I'm even shaking a little bit just as I'm standing here, so I know I really challenged myself today. This was a very good workout. Your workouts and just something in general, we see so many things on Instagram and social media. Your workouts don't need to be a lot of crazy exercises. It doesn't need to be 10 exercises. You can throw in 4 movements, 5 movements, and get a really great workout so long as you're pushing yourself and you're really connecting with the muscle tissue. So I hope this was helpful. Don't forget, if you guys are interested in doing a posing lesson, training, working with me as a coach, you can find all that info in the description below, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.